Hi everyone, it's Delaney and I'm back with another art project. So this week we're going to be making spring trees out of construction paper, and in the end it looks something a little like this, sort of a 3D, which is kind of cool. So the things you're going to need are construction paper. You'll definitely need green and brown, but you can get some other colors maybe for flowers, and you can either use white or blue as the background. You'll need scissors, and you'll also need some glue or some tape, whichever is your preference. So gather all your materials and we'll get started.
Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need is a bunch of construction paper. You'll need blue for the background. You'll definitely need green and brown, and then what you can also get are a few colors. I have pink and white here that you can use for flowers, but you could choose whatever colors you like. You'll also need scissors and some glue. You could use tape if you like, if that works better. And then if you want, you can also have a pencil nearby if you need to mark out some things. So our first step is going to be taking our background piece of paper. You could use white for this if you like, but I'm going to use blue in this case. And what you're going to do, you're going to hold it with the short edge on top, and we're going to be using that as the background for our tree. And next, I'm going to add some grass to the bottom where our tree will sit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a green piece of paper, and I'm also going to take our scissors, and I'm just going to cut straight across the edge of the paper. It doesn't have to be very thick, but just enough so you can see there's a little bit of grass at the bottom to set the scene for where the tree will be. So I'm just cutting a short strip of paper, just about that. It could be as thick or as thin as you like. Then I'm going to take some glue and then glue it down to the bottom of the paper. Okay, and now that the background is all complete, we've got a nice blue sky and some green grass at the bottom. Now we're going to start working on the tree. So, to do that, we're going to be taking some of the brown construction paper to make the trunk of the tree. So as you can see, I've got brown paper here. And similar to like we did with the grass, you're just going to cut a strip of paper all the way up to make the trunk of the tree. And so I'm just going to take my scissors and cut this strip of paper, and it could be as tall or as short as you like. After you cut it, if you want, you can trim it any way you like. So I'm going to trim mine, as you can see. And then once I have it at a height that I like, I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to glue it down to the paper right in the center. And if you want, you can get creative and add branches to the side, but that's entirely up to you. Okay, and once that part is done, now we're going to be working on all the leaves and the bush part of the tree, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our background and tree trunk to the side, and we're going to start cutting strips of paper. So we're going to cut strips of paper and then turn them into little rings, which I'll show you how to do now. So you're going to take the green piece of paper and you're going to be cutting thinner strips of paper all along for the entire paper, or as many as you think you'll need. You can always cut more, but I'd stick with one whole piece of paper at first just to be safe. So I'm going to be cutting a strip of paper. This one will be a little bit on the thinner side, just about like that. As you can see, it's not terribly thin, but it's not incredibly thick either. It's up to you. There's no real measurement. Go ahead and use your pencil if you like. But we're going to be cutting these strips of paper all along this green piece of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, but feel free to pause the video if you need to, and then unpause if you need once you're finished. Okay, and as you can see, we've got our green strips of paper here, and those are going to be the leaves on the tree. And now what you can do, you can cut these in half, like so that they're just a little bit smaller and you'll get more little rings out of them. So I'm also going to speed this up. Feel free to pause and unpause when you're ready. Alright, so we have all of our green strips of paper that are cut in half and they're ready to be folded into rings. But before that, what you can do, you can take a few pieces of colored construction paper. I have pink and white here, and those can act as little flowers in the tree. So you're just going to do the same method of cutting the strips and then cutting them in half. You don't need as many as the green, but I'm just going to cut a couple pink and maybe just one white, as you can see I'm doing here. And again, I'm also going to cut those in half so that they're ready to be turned into rings. So I have those all ready right here. And so once now I have all of the strips of paper ready to go, I have a bunch green, I have a couple white, and I also have some pink. And so now I'm going to turn them into little rings. So I'm going to take one of the strips of paper, and you can either use glue or tape for this, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to fold it over so that the two ends meet and overlap just like this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put glue on one of these ends so that it'll stick together. So I'm going to just unfold that, and then you'll see I'm just going to put glue on one end of the strip of paper. Then I'm going to fold it again like I was. Just kind of fold it over each other and then press it down so that the two ends stick together. Now I have a nice little ring that's going to act as a leaf on my tree. And I'm going to do this with all of my strips of paper. As you see, all these rings are going to go all around the tree. So I'm going to do this same method with the rest of the strips of paper, and I'm going to speed this process up. But if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video and then unpause when you're ready to move on. Okay, and now you can see we've got all of the rings ready to go. So now what you're going to do, you're going to take one of the rings, and as you can see there's a little flap where the two ends meet. What you're going to do, you're going to put that side down on the paper, and then you're going to take your glue and you're just going to place these in whatever way you like on the paper. So you're going to take your glue and you're going to create the main body of the tree with these little rings of paper. So just going to take a little bit of glue, as you can see here, right on the end, and then just going to stick it wherever you like on the tree so that it looks like it's the upper part of it. Just going to do that here. I'm going to do that with all of the rings of the tree. You can get as creative as you like, and then you also have the colored pieces of paper to act as little flowers so that you have little spots of color, but you can choose to do this all green or use different colors, whatever you like. But as you can see, there's no real pattern, it's just whatever you like to do. You can get creative as you like on this, add as many or as few leaves as you like, but it should start to look a little like this. So you have a little 3D element to your tree, and you're going to do this with all of the rings that you have, and if you need more, go ahead and cut more if you need to, but I'm going to speed this process up. But if you need more time, then pause the video and then unpause when you're finished. Alright, and then once you've glued down all your rings, you now have a completed spring tree.
Alright, and we're finished. As you can see, this is how mine turned out. I used pink and white pieces of paper for little flowers, but you can use whatever colors you like or add any other little details that you may think of. So as always, if you need to, go ahead and rewind the video and rewatch any steps, and if not, then be sure to post a picture of your finished art projects to the art folder, because I'm really interested to see how your projects turned out. So I'll see you guys next week with another project.